Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's program with my brother, the person of Femi Adeyeye. Uh, when it's been a long journey for the brother, I don't know that brother's something may not be. It's been a long journey for this man who, peradventure, is going to be sharing his experience, things he has passed through, and how he has become victorious today. And also, I also have a testimony of what his life has done to me. He may not know this, but it happened some last year. I think last year when we have this daily givers program. But before we go into it properly and start talking, when you join this program tonight, when you just join, please do me a favor, share, and bring to the let's invite as many as possible that ought to be here to join us as well. Okay, we are going live. We are live now with Femi Adeyeye. Adeyeye happen to be, uh, let me call it, I don't know the name to give him now, but former rusticated student of University of Lagos, who was not caught in exam hall cheating. He wasn't caught in exam hall passing paper to others. It was only his sin was because he wrote an article which happened to be something that would get him in trouble. Anyways, the guy didn't stop there. He insisted that he needs to speak and the voice must be heard. He kept on talking, and that led to a lot of things. He will be sharing his idea with us, his experience with us. But before we start properly, I need to also do some sharing on my platform, which I'm doing right now. I want to help me share and invite as many as possible before we go on to the program properly. So please, dear friends who is joining us right now, drop a comment. Let me welcome you as we start. I'm live with Adeyeye. Okay. So let me hear you. Just say something when you join so that I can welcome you to the program and we can start from there. Let's share. Bring on everybody. Just connect. This guy has to tell us what happened. How did he start? What was it like when he was out of school? What was it like when he was facing this series of panel invited to come and answer questions and stuff like that? How was he able to skate through? I know there must have been a time when he was discouraged, and there must have been a time when he said to himself, "Whoa, I'm no longer going further. I'm no longer going to fight this, and I want to give up." How did he get through all that? These are some of the things we are going to be discussing together with him today. And I want you to help me invite as many as possible to this show as we interview Femi Adeyeye, a former rusticated student of University of Lagos. And I also want to ask him personally, does he have any intention of going back to complete his course? Or because the guy is no longer local, I think he has become international student now. He has become international guy now. Maybe University of Lagos is too small for him to go back to. He will be telling us, welcome, Areshokan. You're welcome to the program. Have you shared the video? Please do share it and invite people to join us. I'm trying to tag you, Femi, so that your platform can also see it. Okay, good. So let make it a video of that many people need to be here to see what we are going to discuss today. But without much ado, let me invite let me continue with this discussion while we wait for others to join us. Let me therefore invite my guest to work to introduce himself properly. Maybe I've misintroduced him and I need to do some better introduction of himself. So Femi, please kindly unmute yourself and tell us about yourself.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Israel Good News Balogun, and the whole team at the Wholeness Africa Initiative for this invitation to speak on this show. I also want to appreciate Nigerians. I sincerely want to say I'm honored. I've had a lot of accolades being thrown left, right, center, and I can just for now. There's nothing I can say than to just appreciate everybody who have been part of the struggle. Anybody in their own corner who is saying no, we cannot continue like this, who is challenging the system, who is saying, see, we cannot just continue under the system of oppression, the system that continues to, oppress everybody, whichever, under all circumstances, So it's a very good one for me that I'm also on this show at this time. So as I've been correctly introduced, my name is Femi Adeyeye. I'm a human rights activist and a social, crusader. A student of the University of Lagos. And there was this person who said the former rusticated student. But yes, I am a student of University of Lagos who was under political victimization. And but as the case is in Nigeria, political victimization does not end. So either being restated or not, we are all under a system that victimizes us politically. And so I cannot say I'm out of the system yet. So that's just it, basically. Presently, I'm also the publicity secretary of the African Action Congress. So I think that's captured for now as introduction. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. Before we go on to this show, I need to play a video for my audience to see. Then after this video, we'll come back to see and to hear more from Olorunfemi Adeyeye, how and what transpired after his encounter. But I want you to listen to this guy. If you look at his face here and look at the man who is talking right now, you will see a lot of changes has happened. A lot of changes has happened. So please, and I want to know this video. Let me see. This video was posted online 2016. Yes, 2016, and that is apparently 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That is almost 6 years now. 5 years, 6 years now that this video was posted. So you can see that a lot of changes has taken place from the man. But let's go ahead and see the video from here.
I was rusticated on the basis of posting an article on the media, on WhatsApp and on Facebook. The title of the article is "The Senate of the University of Lagos, a Conglomeration of Academic Ignorance." And I was rusticated for 4 semesters for doing that. On that basis, I see the misconduct in the society, and I'm picking the University of Lagos as a microcosm of this thing. Now we get to understand that the society would never be better if a place that should be a citadel of solution, where people should run to, where policymakers should come to find solution, is now in a state of decay, in a state of corruption. Now, the protest that led to the resolution of the Senate was so peaceful. The first day it was very unpopular because none of the students knew except the student leaders. Nobody came out to talk to them. The second day, nothing happened. The third day, all we could get from a sensible management was RRS and ammo tanks coming to school they said they want to protect students. They want to protect so that violence would not erupt from such acts. But we were given an ultimatum of 10 a.m. to leave school. After that, why would a Senate come up with a resolution that is very far from the truth, that is very far from the real thing happening? Now, they sent me a letter. The letter of allegation I got, they said I called the VC a waste. I stand to say this with no apology to anybody, that I did not call him a waste. I only said the nation's investment on him to make him a scholar is a waste. And I will repeat it 201 times. Because I cannot see any responsibility. I cannot see any managerial skill in a person who claims to be a first class. Whenever you're talking about management is the ability to bring all resources into play to have a smooth running of your society. When you claim to be a scholar and you cannot even lie, I use it that way. If you had come to the student the first day, come to the students in the second day to even tell my any mommy, this is what is happening. Just lie, even lie about the generator. Say something, say sweet words. We are Nigerians, we would accept. But nothing like that happened the first day, not like that happened the second day. The third day, what we could see in school was RRS and armor tanks sending students out. This is very, very irresponsible on his part, and it is administrative failure. He should accept that he has failed. His management has failed. Now they said that I posted some things that are not true about the whole thing. They said the chairman of the panel asked me that was my definition of peaceful. In fact, on this platform, I'm beginning to doubt their PhDs, because if someone could ask me what's the meaning of peaceful, what I said that day, if go to FUNAB, go to Uniports, and then you will see the real meaning of violent protests. Now I wrote an article and I'm being indicted for 4 semesters to go. Now I want this to be known that if exposing a crime in any society is taken to be a crime, then it is not wrong to say in that society you are ruled by criminals.
Femi, welcome. You as if you are looking at yourself in that video. I don't know what's wrong through your mind. And you're like, is this me? Because these days it seems you have become a little bit more diplomatic and calm. Maybe because of the higher position you occupy now, and then you're no longer fighting DC, you are fighting president right now. So, paraventure. But let's go to this video. In that video, you make mention of an article you wrote. I've been trying to search for that article online. I've not been able to lay my hand on it. I wish I could see some things. And then the article happened to be the problem. I mean, the source, the generation. I mean, the source where the problem started from. You wrote an article and you put it online. What do you think is wrong with that article, Femi? To be candid.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. The only thing wrong with the article is that it's the truth. And we live in a society of liars. And so the truth is so potent. And that is why you see, like what I always say about the truth is this. You don't defend the truth. You don't defend the truth. The truth is static. So let's lie move from left, right, center, middle, up, down. It will always come back to make the truth at a particular point. People would always come to the truth. So you don't defend the truth. So the only problem with that article at that time was it's the truth. And if you can look at it, after that time, different expose started coming out about what's happening in Unilag, and people were laying credence to that article. But this man said something like, an example is the sexual harassment thing that I wrote about. In that same article, which I was punished for, I was suspended, I was arrested, incarcerated in prison, and all of that, which was the genesis of of all of these troubles, if you ask me. It was the same sexual harassment story that Kiki Modi of BBC did on Unilag and brought out, the investigation on what they call the code room in Unilag. We've known about code room since forever. We've known about table, hold the table at Faculty of Education. There was a particular lecturer they nicknamed hold the table. Yes. So that sexual harassment, so many things like that. We wrote about all of these things. So the only issue with that article was that it was, and it remains the truth, because some of those things that were said in that article have still not been addressed fully to the end. So that's the only problem. And that truth at that time pierced into all parts of the body of the management, and they could not, they could not just accept that kind of truth, and then they had to come for the messenger, who I was at the time.
But you said on that video that you have been rusticated for four, right? 4 semester, right?
Yes.
How come it turned to become 5 years?
Yeah. It's how oppressors work. In this part of the world, how oppressors work in this part of the world. So after the 4 semesters elapsed in 2018, I was suspended in 2016. After it elapsed, I wrote the management. Prelude to that time, we've been having several protests. several demonstrations to come back to school. We went to court at some point. The matter was thrown out of court on technical grounds and all of that. We could not refile because some of the persons who were suspended with myself, who are student union leaders, they got 2 semesters, suspension. But I was just a writer on campus. I got 4 semesters. So by the time we were to go back to court, they were already serving out the whole 2 semesters already. So the ginger was not there. It was not actually there to go back to court. So that was how we threw away the court option. So on the expiration of the 4 semesters, I wrote to the management seeking reinstatement. That okay, now I've served out the 10. I need to be reinstated and all of that. In a finagling manner, this management then replied me on towards the last days of the session in which I was supposed to resume to. So they just replied like 4 days to the end. So to make it seem as if they reinstated me at least within, but that time I could not register anymore. I could not do anything. So do you know the funny thing with them is that I received both letter of reinstatement and letter to appear before another panel on 7 count charges on the same day. On the same day, I received letter of reinstatement, letter to appear before another panel. Like 2 days after that day, I received it. Just 2 days.
After serving the first punishment.
Serving 4 semesters, yes. I got semester. 7 count charges. 7 count charges.
Yes. Count charges again.
7 again to appear before another panel. Before that time, I was invited to the panel. So I've been invited many times actually, but on 3 major issues. As in 3 major issues. 9 charges. You understand? So, but the one in middle, they cancelled it. They cancelled it, they suspended, they said they would invite me later in the future because we did something very radical that day. Immediately they gave me the letter. I walked into campus, I did photocopies of that letter to my comrades, and we pasted it everywhere on the campus. We made a serious issue out of it. And so by midnight, or was it the night preluding the day I was supposed to appear before the panel, I then posted on social media, on my Facebook timeline, that anyone who is willing to join me at the panel should meet me at Yaba bus stop in the morning. So people were showing interest. You see the comment that day. I was under suspension anyways, while they were still inviting me to appear before. So people got, angry. What's the meaning of all of this? You said the guy should go under suspension for 4 semesters, and you're still inviting him to another panel again on, different issues. So they had to call that morning. Hello, this is Mr. Femi Adeyeye. I'm calling from the Senate. Please do not come again. The panel has been suspended. We will invite you later. I was even asking her, please, can you introduce yourself? Yeah, no, don't worry. You know me already. She ended the call. So, but this one, the third one, in which I was now invited, I appeared before the panel with Comrade Inibe Heffion, the same lawyer who took out of the dungeon of Pastor Suleiman. So I appeared with him and Barrister Dignity, one of his lawyers in his chambers working with him at that time. So we appeared at the panel, the Senate chambers. He was not allowed. They said lawyers don't come in. This is just a discussion with our students. Femi is our student. You know how they can do. No, Femi now. Our student. You know how we do it here now. You have to bring in a lawyer. So that happened, but we discussed, and I went in alone. So at that time, I had to tell them that all these things you've invited me to come and answer, these were things that happened when you said my studentship was suspended. You are inviting me to come and answer questions on protests that happened when my studentship was suspended. Some of the protests I did not partake in them. Yeah, when I was under rustication. Some of these protests I was never part of them. Some of them, so many issues like that. So I said, some of them you invite police to come and take care of the issue. They arrest us, they beat us, they brutalize us, take us to police station. In one of the cases, I was, that was when a blind student was suspended. I was under suspension. A blind student was suspended, so we had to fight for his reinstatement. a very powerful activist on campus. Anyways, he was suspended for something that happened in 2015. He was suspended in 2017, 2 years after. You understand? And so we had to fight that out. In one of them, it was that particular instance we were picked, and then on trumped up charges we were, remanded at Kirikiri prisons. So that happened. So I was giving them all of this. So now you did not invite me there to appear before any panel. Now, upon reinstatement, belated reinstatement, anyways, you are reinstating me after a year. Now you are inviting me to another panel. I said, I don't know why I'm here, anyways, because I'm not a member of the university community. You can only invite to a panel a member of the university community. I said, well, now I don't know where I am. I'm floating, and so they agreed with me at that panel. The people at the panel agreed with me and they said, okay, please go ahead and register. When you're done registering, we will now invite you. So, hey, that's how to do things. So I left the place, and I guess the report did not go down well with the management who sent them on that errand, because they gave them the report. They gave the vice chancellor and they gave them the report. What they were expecting was that I would come and then we start discussing again. They would say they gave me fair hearing, and from then I would be expelled. That was their plan, anyways. After reinstatement, to expel me fully, and then you keep fighting and all. So, but that did not work. So they took the report back to the management. They did not like it. So instead of them to now open my portal, they did not open my student portal, and that is as good as being suspended. Because when you are not registered on your portal, you are suspended. So that happened from 2018, September 24, 2018, till last week, Monday. 4 good years, or 3 years, and almost 4 years. If you just take 9 months out of a year.
Somebody just
That's
wasted
3 years, 3 months.
Someone just wasted 3 years, 3 months of your life for no reason.
Yeah, plus the 2, making it 5 years, 3 months.
Okay, let's say
I've served 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
After the 2 years, then wasted, took another 3 years and 3 months, making it 5 years, 3 months. So since that time, when I would always write the management, what's happening to my portal was, the vice chancellor was at a US Congress of the Alumni Association, and he was asked a question about me. The man said, I'm not remorseful, I've not shown remorse. He said, the video is online, you can even Google it right now, so we're doing this. Maybe you can play it for people to, Unilag, DC, says why he cannot reinstate Femi Adeyeye, something like that. So the vice chancellor said, I'm being stubborn, I've not shown remorse. I came on campus to destroy or disrupt the convocation. There was a time that you used to see me on campus that I drink around, and very funny things anyways. So it has been one form of letters, different things actually around, and until last Monday. Is it last Monday? Okay, this Monday actually, when my portal was finally opened. So that's just taking you through the years. Yeah.
Okay, let me quickly play. One minute, please. Let me quickly
Can you
play
see the
this
video
video.
now? Okay.
Yes, let me quickly play. Meanwhile, why I try to play this video, if you are joining us right now online, can you say something in the comment box? Let me know you are there and give a feedback. If you can hear us, so I hope we are not just talking to each other. The people who are watching can hear us and the video is good. And then if you also have any opinions, any question you want me to ask Femi, put them down in the comment box. Those who are watching on YouTube, those who are watching on Facebook, drop a comment. Let me read them out to him. We are still going to be asking him a few questions. I know he's on the road and I will not want to delay him so much. But while we still have him here, Drop your questions and let us hear him speak. Let me play this video quickly before we go on.
And in learning, that is it. And up to now, he has not shown any remorse. He came into convocation where we are alumni of the University of Lagos. For someone to come into the convocation and moving towards where the Vice Chancellor, moving towards the base, to take the base, I stand to be corrected. I am saying this, I was a witness. I was there that day. Shore came in. That was the convocation that the son of Shino Peters graduated. He came in. Who can do that in this country that you have? This America that you see, you know, I am sorry. See, the problem we have. When he was the student union president, I know that time. I started lecturing May 16, 1990 in the University of Lagos. All the student union leaders, I know them. He cannot do that. He cannot. To want to come, when convocation was on, to move into the convocation at the multipurpose hall and to move to the stage and shouting. Up to now, he has not shown remorse. Up to now. He was to appear before a panel. He told them at that panel that he does not see the reason why they should invite him because the university has not reabsorbed him. I stand to be corrected. What I'm telling you. The chairman of that committee is Professor Okuzo, the student disciplinary board. He appeared before them and told them that they don't have, he came with a lawyer. Because when I read about what was going on, I have to call the chairman this week. I said, what is happening concerning this student? He gave me the brief, and I remember that she told me earlier on. When you are suspended or rusticated, you are the one that will write. It's not the university that will write you. You see, the problem we have, we embellish rascality. And like I put on the platform of the alumni, one of the platforms, I said, bad news is cheap, but brings temporary emotional joy.
Let me continue from here. If we need to go back to him, we will go back. The man raised an issue there that on the day of convocation, you went into the convocation hall and you are moving towards the maze or towards the vice chancellor, right in the maze of convocation. Did you do that?
What happened on that day is what you call clear resistance. So we visited the University of Lagos on it's actually on the invitation of Segun Olo. The Segun Olo of Objectively Young, you know him very well. So it was that particular convocation he was graduating. So, and you know him to be the cousin of Omwele. So he was invited. He invited us. So even if he does not invite us, I have many friends who, you know, graduating at that year. So we came as normal guests, but the university then saw us as abnormal guests. You know, we came as normal. They saw us as abnormal, and we walked into the convocation. You know, seated, and actually wanted to use that also to raise awareness on the suspension of all, you know, activists, and the suspension, illegal suspension of the students' union, because it is not done. It is not done where the management will just sit on the students' union that they were not part of. You're not a member of the vice chancellor. Is not a member of the students' union. It's actually the ideal thing is that the union is a democratic setting of students. So any vice chancellor who is interested in the student union should first of all become a student. When you become a member, that is when you can speak, about the union. And so these were the issues we were trying to raise and all of that. But we were then, brutalized and attacked right inside the hall that day. Yeah. They said when we got to the commissioner of police on that day, the commissioner of police of Lagos State that time, Mr. Fatai, he asked me, he said, why did I stand up? I said, so many people are standing in this hall now, and we did not harass any one of them. Why is it that when Femi Adeyeye stood up, that is when all the police officers on campus and SSS who were guarding the VC, and everybody just came to where we were, and then they started dragging us out of the place. So when did my own standing up become a thing of concern? Yes, you understand? You get a bit of interest. So that was the whole thing for that day. And seriously, what happened on that day, really, really, it's an affront on our rights to assemble, our rights to associate, and it stands, condemned to today. So there's so many other, things that I said in that video that you just have to, take with a pinch of salt. But I would not like to go into all that for now, for the sake of this discussion.
There are these things that people who are in power always believe. They believe that the moment they have issue with you, you must, the terminology called removes. It removes.
Yeah.
You must show a kind of repenting behavior. In other words, they want you to see, they want to be crawling on their feet, bringing your mom, your parents, your ancestors to come and be crawling and begging them so that they will say, okay, he has repented. Oh, we have mercy on him. Oh, we are going to give him some form, some document. He will sign, he will fill them. So when we bring him back to school, he will give us assurance that he will not challenge leadership. So, like this society, I mean, in this kind of country, that's how they think normal human beings should behave. Like normal human being, when you are,
yes, definitely.
Even if you are the one that is right, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you should be the one to come and be crawling. But before I come back to Femi, let me welcome those who are already joining us. This is Femi Adeyeye, and I'm here interviewing him on the issues that has to do with his reinstatement in he was reinstated in University of Lagos after being rusticated from the school for 5 years, 3 months. Actually, 2 years is an official rustication. 3 years, 3 months was just extra punishment for personally offending one person somewhere. But when here we are asking him certain questions. Let me ask you, Femi.
Yes.
This is where we are right now. My concern is, what is your plan? Do you have any plan of going back to university, or you have moved on?
Definitely. They owe me my certificate. They owe me that certificate. I've tried enough for the University of Lagos not to get that certificate. Anyways, both you said something about official rustication, both official, non-official, and all of that. They are all elements of injustice. And I say it to anybody. The reason why I remain steadfast even till now is to make sure that no student activist anywhere in this country must go through what I went through anymore. That's what I'm going to consider as success. And that's what I'm going to consider as victory. That nobody, no student activist must be suspended just for writing or expressing dissent. We most times, and when these professors work, this is how they operate, especially in an academic setting. You come out, you protest about something, then they they pick people, as scapegoats. They punish them so that you don't talk about the issues that you raised at first. Yeah, so you forget that issue. For example, you talk about school fee. You increase school fees, everybody will do a looter. Then they pick the arrowheads, they suspend them. Then you start reinstate Femi Adeyeye hashtag. So you've forgotten about the school fee. It is a tactic, they've been using all this one. But what happened at that time is that we understood this as an organization, because at that time I was the national secretary of the Alliance of Nigerian Students Against Neoliberal Attacks, ANSA. So we understood that tactics. So we did not fall for it. So I was under suspension, and yet we were still raising that question on learning and living conditions on campus. And so they were like, is this guy all right? We did not stop at the University of Lagos. We moved to Lautech. Many of you who must have seen the considered authority protests against the late Ajimobi. We did that. And, after that, we went to Taswed. We were now moving everywhere across the country. In fact, in our record, we have over 40 student activists who were reinstated from our action. 33 were suspended at that time. It was as if after I was suspended, there was an harvest of reputation and expulsion across the country. 33 persons were suspended for participating in protests at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. After a year, I think we had like 2 at Taswed or 3. We had 8 at the University of Benin. So it was at the same time also Debo Macaroni.
After 8 months. A minimum school.
Okay. Debo Macaroni, the comedian, now he was suspended at the same time I was suspended too. Yes, at Redeemers University, Nigeria. I can remember that time because we were trying to reach out to him as an organization. So this is how they work. This is how oppressors, and it's a network. To be frank with you, many people ask several questions. Why don't you go to other federal universities? I was just laughing. You want a Femi Adeyeye to can go to UI, and you think I would get that admission? Maybe you don't understand what we are talking about, or you want me to go. So it's just a network of oppression that should be disrupted. There is no two way about it. We just need to disrupt that network. The network is in schools. You have the network in religious centers. You have the network in political institutions. They are all connected. And that is why all of us who are also oppressed must also connect ourselves. We must also network ourselves, because the people we are fighting are in a serious network. Look at what happened with you and Apostle Suleiman. And now you reached out. Immediately, we had to look for people. I sent you, I'm not saying this so that anybody could raise any applause. I'm just trying to, reinforce my point. I sent you the phone number of Barrister Ilibe Efi of Unilag. I said, this man will be interested in this matter. That is what we call network. That's what we call solidarity. So that people can be emboldened to fight oppression when they know that, okay, when they do this, there's a network of rights activists who would stand up. When I wrote my article, you would think at the end of that article, I wrote it in Yoruba. I said, Eba Mimbe. You would think that small boy, and as if I had all network of human rights activists across the world. I was just speaking prophetically because I knew they would come for me. I knew with what I wrote that they would come for me. I knew it, so I was ready.
Femi,
I wrote it. If you go and check that article. Yes.
Femi, I am not going to let this go because I'm writing it down immediately. Because I can agree totally with you that oppressors and they've networked themselves. It's like an organized crime.
Yes, correct.
Organized crime. That even if you offend me and I don't want to be the one to punish you, I can connect to somebody else to punish you.
Definitely.
Somebody else is punishing you while you don't know that that person is the one punishing you. But that we say we want to fight the oppressors, we are never connected. Individuals are doing it on his own.
In silos.
So
we are fighting oppression in silos.
This discussion will lead me to organize meeting with you and any other one who is interested. I'm putting it up now. We're going to announce that meeting. Femi, we need to take it up. Every one of us are fighting in different fields. There are people today who also are fighting in silence. There is a need for you all to say, we want to say no to any oppress. We should be able to say whatever we want to say according within the circumference of the law without being afraid of being punished unjustly. And you know what? The moment these people know that these guys are up and standing, they are afraid to.
Yes. Yeah. Let me say something. Let me add something to what you just said now. You see, what the ruling class have been fighting always is unity of the oppressed. What they've been fighting all together is the unity of the oppressed, is solidarity everywhere across Africa. It is solidarity. They do not want the oppressed to unite, because immediately they unite, it's a problem. Immediately the Odua nation sees that the same problem we're talking about is what IPOB is talking about. It's the same thing. The same, immediately the IPOB man also sees the Hausa man. That, in fact, despite the fact that this region has had the highest number of presidents, it is still the most impoverished. So it is not my brother issue, it is class issue. So that the Hausa man, because I read it in several places where Hausa, Fulani, people start putting up some kind of dichotomy, and then they begin to tell us that it's the people from the north that are destroying Nigeria and all of that, and so for that reason we should leave and let them suffer while we will get out of the country. It is the narrative of the ruling class. That narrative is what they are pushing, so that they will keep you divided while they continue to conquer. So that if you come together, you will fight them and you face them. They know. And that was what NSAS was pushing towards. And so they could not stand NSAS anymore at some point. It's like, okay, it seems these people are becoming very conscious. They just have to come out with the guns. You understand? So everything they've been fighting is for you not to see me as your brother. It is for me not to see you as my brother. It is for all of us to just get scattered. You make your own noise in your own corner. I make my own noise in my own corner, and then everybody's just making a noise, and it is not becoming an orchestra. What we need is an orchestra of the oppressed. Let everybody sing together, and it's just that we may have individual differences, and we must appreciate it. What's in an orchestra? An orchestra is that I am singing, somebody is playing the bass guitar, another person is playing the violin, another person is playing the drums. We have different things. For example, you can undo social media very well. You can undo YouTube. You can do I can write well. We have the likes of Daily Parrotini who can speak well, who can write well. We have people who can dance, who their own is to dance creatively and pass a message. So we need everybody at this time to network. And immediately they see that unity, they're very sure that they will come after us, because they know that this is what they've been attacking all their life. This is what they look for. They don't have any other business. You are the one who still wants to do agriculture, and they don't have any other thing to do. You snap pictures of how you are putting us in one farm like that. You carry camera. You are doing media work. You are doing this. Yeah. These ones are full-time oppressors. What they call full-time. I've seen a card of the politician before where he wrote politician as occupation. You understand? So yes, occupation is politics. Yeah, politician, is a politician. And then you ask, when did politics become an occupation? Is to tell you that is what they do. So they are full-time oppressors. They are the ones who still want to do other things.
We're going to take it off from after this show, and then I think we're going to bring something out of these things. If it's because it is already our year of wonders in Nigeria. You'll be hearing different wonders happening now because of the political year that we are into. But that being said, let's go back to Femi, who was rusticated from University of Lagos and reinstated on Monday, where you posted your admission, your portals being opened after you visited Mama Gio's church. But I'm coming down to that because you still need to go back and do Thanksgiving at Mama Gio's church. Anyways, I'm coming to that later. For those who are watching us at home right now, if you are there watching, please write something in the comments. Let me know what you feel about this. If you're excited about what happened to Femi, how he has passed through, or what he has experienced, and so far, just say something. Let me know you are there. Femi, I want to ask you that. Thank God that you are back to school. But those years that you have been out of school, is there something you want to thank God for? Do you think it has been an opportunity for you to achieve something? Do you see it as a blessing in disguise, or do you see it as a curse? What can you say about your years of being out of school?
Okay, first of all, is to say that I may be out of school, but actually I'm not out of education. I've been educating myself big time, and because actually The real definition of education is the ability of the educated to question the existence. First of all, you question the existence, you question the society, you question things. But our schools are now devoid of education. Education has left our schools. So what we do in our school is that we train people to be zombies. We train people to conform to the system. Don't stop. See no evil, hear no evil, say no evil. Just do what you want to do, get out. And many people would always say, I will answer the question, but I just want to lay this prelude. Many people will always say, why not just, graduate when you graduate, you can then later fight the system. And then I ask them questions, many of those persons who say these things, that, what have you done ever since your graduation? Have you fought the system? You see, is it when you become a married man that you have your wife, you have your kids, and all that? Is it that time you fight the system? When before you move out of the house, your wife is already looking at you like, guy, I beg. Or is it a time when your boss is telling you to do fraud and all of that? You see, the realities, the existential realities become wider when you leave, the university, when you leave the tertiary institutions. You understand? So people who give that excuse for not fighting and all that will never fight at any point of their life. That's the truth. They don't fight in their workplace. Their employer is using them anyhow as casual work. Nobody saying anything. So, but for the years I've been out of school, I've been in serious education, educating myself, politically, socially and everything. So I actually do not miss. It's just as if I graduated 5 years ago. I'm just coming back to pick up the certificates and then and then move on with life. So, but in specifics, I've been able to build, several things. Political clouds, social capital, which is the greatest capital any man can have in this world. It is not physical cash. I've never been stranded. I can say this with all sense of responsibility. I've never been stranded. And that's what I keep telling activists. You can never be stranded as a genuine activist. You can never be stranded. So I have social capital around me. I have political capital. I've been able to build, businesses also, to sustain myself, even, despite the oppressive, economic climate that we have here. So it's a lot of experience, till this time. So I did not lose anything. To be frank with you, I did not lose anything. I'm just going back to pick up the certificate and then we
Thank
see
you so
what
much,
life
Femi.
has.
With what you have said, thank you. And then everyone will agree with me that your life has not been stagnant, to be candid. So many people this happened to, your peradventure will have lose hope in life or even waiting for them to go back to school. But you have been hardened values, even those who have graduated before you, or who peradventure you're supposed to have graduated with, are not even mount a pulpit that you have mounted. I remember that most of the shows that go on in Nigeria now, when it comes to discussion that has to do with nations, you have been invited to speak on almost all of them. That's an achievement for me. I remember also that the last one I came, and this is a testimony that I'm going to share. I was sitting at the back when a man and a lady was talking to you. Is it a man and a lady? Yes, I think a man and a woman was speaking to you, and they were like, Femi, you can't quit because the essence of this fight is not for you alone. They were like, if you quit now,
Yes.
they were going to make you as a reference to those under-level students. I was hearing everything that they were telling you. That look, if you quit now, they will make a reference to those other level that, did you see the way we deal with that guy? We're going to deal with you like that. If you are even confirming to them that they already started saying that. And then I said, you see, that's the reason why you must not quit, because if you quit and they allow them to win, you have given them opportunity to say to others, do you see what we did to this one? Right there, I get the confidence and boldness to sue Apostle Suleiman, because I also saw it from that angle that if I quit, these people will always have their way anytime. These people always believe that they can pick anybody and lock them up. These people always believe that they can do anything. So we must not quit at any point in time. Even if you need us to live our life and go on. So that was the basic for me, that was where the next day of that meeting, the next week, the week after that meeting, we went to Abuja to go and fight the case. So I can say that many people who are sitting there in that congregation that they peradventure may have don't even have PhD in their hand and stuff. But who are there listening to you? You are supposed to be a rusticated student. And as you have said, you are out of school, you are never out of education. I am proud of you, brother. I am so much proud of you. And we have seen what you have done also when it comes to speaking on behalf of the people, the interests of the people, and stuff like that. Everybody may not be able to agree with your style, but they cannot deny the fact that you are a voice. What I speak about today about church, religion, and not stuff, there's not everybody that agree with my style. But one thing they cannot deny is that this guy is saying the truth. Of course.
Yes.
So we need to appreciate that. And I need to say that for record purposes. Femi, before I let you go on this show today, I would really want you to talk to we Nigerians and the youths that are supposed to liberate themselves from the oppressors.
All right. We've been saying it all those ones, so there's nothing new to add anyways. I was at the symposium today, and I could tell, there was several frustration coming from, some of the persons some of the discussants about what Nigeria has become, and now it seems as if the young people of this country are docile and all that. So I disagree actually that the young people of this country are docile. What is lacking actually is connecting with them, making them see themselves in the struggle, in the everyday struggle. They must see themselves. We network and then we organize ourselves to take over political power. That's just the truth. You see, we cannot continue to speak on several issues. I was suspended because we have an oppressive system. If we had a system that wasn't oppressive, that do not trample on rights and all of that, I wouldn't have been suspended. I wouldn't be having even this discussion today. So when we leave that kind of oppression, and as I'm speaking right now, the same thing is about to repeat itself at Femi Adeyeye University, where the president of the student union and others have been invited by the management for partaking in a protest that happened 2 months ago. This was a protest that claimed because of the lackadaisical attitude of the medical personnel at the health center at Femi Adeyeye University. Students died, so students went on rampage, and they protested and all of that. But instead of the management to look at the issues, they are now inviting activists who spearheaded the protest. You see, so what we have is a system that needs to be crushed. There's no better way to say it. We need to crush this system. And how do we do it? It is for all of us, like I said earlier, to network and to organize ourselves and become a political force. It is when we become a political force that is when we can do political work, and then we take over political power, because power is the ability to do work. It's as simple as that. So it is something that we must start talking about now. It is something we must start talking about. If we crush the system, we would not have all these roots. The system is giving birth to different fruits, rather. The system is given to different fruits. You have victimization of student activists. You have brutality, police brutality. You have army brutality, NDLEA brutality, EFCC brutality, LASMA brutality, task force brutality. You have even brutality from poverty. You have church brutality, mosque brutality, religious brutality is just everywhere. It's coming from a system. Why not let us just go for the roots of that system, crush it, so that we can have a society where people can share ideas. And you see, when people attack people like you and myself, so there's this part that you just feel somehow that a lot still needs to be done. A lot still needs to be done. Why part of what I was supposed to say at the symposium that I did not say because so many persons said it, about just what I was to say, is the 1986 song of Fela. Luku and Lafu. Luku and Laugh is a song of frustration. At that point, Fela was frustrated. We've always been saying the same thing. We've been talking to people. If you go and look at the lyrics, you will find out that Fela was saying, you don't think I don't sing. You don't think I don't write another tune. And I say, I don't sing. But all those ones where I don't talk before, waiting happened. I'm just trying to paraphrase. So at that point, Fela became frustrated. And it happens also to activists. You look at Apple saying this. People are not, it's as if people are not getting the message. These people should catch this fire, you understand? But people addressed that issue. So I needed not to repeat it. That consciousness is not equation of a straight line. So we should not expect that everybody will be conscious at the same time. No. Who would believe that in this country we will have something as big as NSAS at the time it happened? BP Nigeria happened weeks before NSAS. And before that time, we were saying, hey, the youth of this country, they are very docile. All they are doing is to watch BP Nigeria. But when it was time, these same BB Nigeria youths came out and they did BB NSAS, Big Brother protest, one of the biggest protests that even conventional activists like myself have not been able to organize. These BB Nigeria youths that you said they are docile and all of that, they came out and they organized it. And in fact, they showed government what governance should be. Because right there at the protests, security was what provided by the people. The people provided security for themselves. Right there, they provided welfare. And what is the objective of government anywhere in the world? It is security and welfare. So it's to tell you that the young people of this country are ready. Nobody should put us under that blackmail that Nigerian people, they're not ready. No. They are ready. It is for all of us to network with ourselves, organize ourselves, and we take political power for ourselves. And when I mean for ourselves, I mean for the people, and not for one godfather or one godmother anywhere. That will be my pattern statement, except there are other questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. I will need to leave you because I know you just rush somewhere to attest to this program, and we have been here over an hour right now, and I am so glad that you'll be here. Somebody has a question that I think you may want to attend to before you leave. This person said, Dear Femi, what fuel your energy in this struggle?
It is circumstance. Let me put it this way. Yes, circumstance and conviction. I'm not one of those activists that came into limelight because he did or he was studying or he was reading some books and all of that. I just woke up one morning and my head was scattered. No. I've always spoken against injustice from my primary school. That's the truth. There was a time, it's in my book, I would publish it in a very good time. There was a time when primary 4 and primary 5 pupils of my school, we were swapped. They had to swap us. Primary 4 had to go to primary 5 class to sit a particular unified test. Because primary 4, that's the class I was at that time, we were the most brilliant in the school. So they had to take primary 4 to primary 5 and take primary 5 the less brilliant. They took them to primary 4 class, so that primary 4, who are now the imaginary primary 5, could make the school proud. Since that time, I felt in my heart that this is not right. I think I came one of the best in the States with 306 marks. I can't forget this particular thing. 306 marks out of 400. So but I just knew that something was not right about this. We are cheating this primary 5 pupils, but I could not express that thing. But I knew it was not right. I knew. So when I was being presented the award, I was not happy. I just collected it. I was not happy. But I took a lesson from that day. If the primary 5 pupils, because I was expecting them to protest, to say, why are you doing this to us? We are the ones who were supposed to see this exam. I was expecting, even if one person spoke that day, I would have supported that person. I knew something was not right. I would have supported that person and I would scatter it. I know I can do something like that, even at that point. But it's to tell you, and the lesson I drew from that since that day is that when the oppressor is oppressing and the oppressed is not speaking out.
We are not hearing you again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me say that again. When the oppressor is doing the oppression and the oppressed is not speaking out, that oppressed automatically is not just a victim, but an accomplice of the oppression. So the primary five pupils at that time, they had accomplice, they accepted the oppression. Do you get? So over time, I've been, in secondary school, I was made the senior prefect. I was a senior prefect in a public school where we had guys who had beards at that time. We were into cultism and all of that. But we handled for anybody who is watching this, they know my time as the student, as a student union president, the senior prefect of Anglican Grammar School Water, they know what we did at that time. No, there was no, all the bad boys had to run away, So, so I went to Water where students will come to school with charms. It was it was but at that time we were becoming conscious of what was happening. So I became an activist, and what continues to fuel me is circumstance around me in my society. When I see injustice, I'm not just cool with it. I feel bad. I just feel restless. This thing cannot continue happening like this. And what continues, and let me say this so that I don't sound like a perfect human being. There are times when you would review what you are doing. You would sit down and ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? The only thing that keeps you going at that time is your conviction, your personal conviction.
We're not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry, it's a particular call interrupting. So there are so many activists who are activists by head, and there are some activists who are activists by arts. Give me 100 activists by arts, I will prefer them than the activist by head. The activist by head is an activist that calculates. He does so many calculations in his head. It is what he has to gain from any particular struggle. That is where he goes to them. But the activist by heart is the person who hates injustice naturally, who just hates injustice. So there are times when you be low. There are times when but the only thing that keeps you moving is personal conviction. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying this. I think someone needs to hear this. At the first week of the viral video where my interview went viral, so many applause, people were clapping. Oh, this guy is firebrand. This guy is this. You will enjoy that moment. Anyways, I was not moved by any of that. But I'm just saying this. You would enjoy that moment, but there was a time the applause would go down. Nobody will cheer you again.
Only you.
So the question is, will you still be an activist at that time? Yes, only you will not face real life. The question is, will you now be an activist at that time, or you run back to your shells? That is just it. So it is personal conviction that keeps fueling everything that we do.
Thank you very much. I am so grateful for your time. And I believe that we will still have you again and again on this platform. You have explained what I think is very important. Whatever we have found that we are convinced that is we have to do. I believe every morning something wakes me from my bed. And whenever I wake up, how do I deliver Nigeria from religion? How do I tell them religion will destroy them? If I'm sleeping, I'm thinking. If I'm just waking up like fresh idea. And as you said it, when the issue of Suleiman happened and stuff, my name was everywhere. People were calling me, hey, I love your courage, I love it. When everything went down and then nothing come again, I decided to say, I asked myself, what is happening? But the war, it's like the war just got started. I could not stop fighting.
Yes.
And I believe that together, if we can connect ourselves, we can deliver ourselves from the oppressor. Nobody will come and deliver us. And then this is going to be a very serious discussion, because I really want us to have a strategic meeting, talk together, invite as many as possible, hold meeting, and reach an agreement. We will win by righteousness, and we can win by righteousness. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. And to everyone watching at home, I am so grateful for having you here. Please help share this video. Follow me on my YouTube, Wholeness Africa Initiative, and I will see you next time. God bless you. Bye for now.